everybody, Shalom Aleichem. It's Hannah Nesher from Voice for Israel Ministries, and we're going to talk today about something that I think is really, really important: how to choose a good wife. So, just in case you're thinking this is a message just for the guys, how to choose a good wife, this is also for the girls too, because we need to look at, are we good wife material, right? And if we see something in this or hear something, it's like, yeah, I need to work on that area. So, this is something, I just think it's one of the most important topics that we could ever talk about. Because, let's face it, it's not taught in school, right? We might learn about triangles and stuff, but we don't learn about one of the most important things, which is, how to choose a good mate for life. And that's why this world is kind of in such a mess, is because, we just keep making these, not wise decisions and then, pay for a lifetime. So I am here so you can learn from my mistakes and so you can choose a good wife, all right? Because, really, a good wife, a good woman, that's something that can make you or break you, right? I mean, let's just look at Samson and Delilah, right? I mean, if you choose the wrong woman, it can totally derail your destiny. And look at King Solomon. He was the wisest man on the face of the earth. God gave him all wisdom, and yet, what was his downfall? He married foreign wives, and they turned his heart away from the Lord. So, really, on the other hand, a good woman, they say that behind every successful man is a good woman, right? And I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think about my own mom and dad and how my mom just stood behind him so faithfully. They've been marriid over 60 years, and my dad will be the first one to say that she was such a large part of his success, her wisdom, her faithfulness, her caring for him and for our family all those years. So anyways, super, super, super important. And I admit I'm a bit of a yenta, all right? I do like to matchmake people. It's something that I don't know, it's just in me. And but you know what? I know a lot of guys that are just lonely. They are wishing they could find a wife. They're hoping they could find a good woman, and they're just like, and I know a lot of like beautiful, intelligent, godly young women too, that they just seem like they can't find a good husband. That shouldn't be, So this is my little way of tikkun olam. This is my little way of trying to, inject something good into that situation. And, the thing is that for a guy to want to choose a good wife, I think that there's this attitude that, well, it's just kind of like a concession to a man's sinful nature, and that's so not true at all, because it's God himself who said it is not good for man to be alone. He said that, and he knows it's not good for man to be alone. Now, I don't know if you have some call to singleness or something. Okay, good grace. But for most men, it's not good for you to be alone. So guys, you've got to get out there. I mean, God's made you to be, to take the initiative, and, you're not supposed to be just passive and sitting back. And I mean, there's all kinds of beautiful, godly women out there that are just waiting for you to make a move. So, if you're in your young adults groups and stuff like that, don't just sit back, and, you got to go out there, get out there. And okay, anyways, that's enough of that. I just want to make a point that it's God who said it's not good for man to be alone. This is his will. And, there's so much in the original Hebrew that we can learn. And so there's this verse in Proverbs 18:22. It says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing." You already know that, right? "And obtains favor from the Lord." That's what it says in English, okay? But if we go to the original Hebrew scriptures, what it says is, yes, he who finds a wife finds something good. But then it says, "Vayafek ratzon mi'Adonai." And what that means, it has the general meaning of, it satisfies the will of God. So it is the will of God for you to find a good wife. I totally believe that. So I'm here to help you. Okay? So what was happening is that I was reading through the story from Genesis 24 about how Abraham sent out his servant Eliezer to find a wife for his son Isaac. And as I'm looking through that and how they found Rebekah and her qualities, I thought, there's a message in here that I really want to share. So let's look at this story and some of the qualities of Rebekah, and I think that we can apply that to our lives, because the Torah is not meant to be just something that we debate about doctrine. It's something to be relevant to our own lives. It's a living word. It's for us today. Okay, so first of all, Abraham sends out his servant Eliezer to find a wife for his son Isaac. What is that saying to us? Is that we as parents need to help our kids find spouses. Now, I'm not saying we go back to arranged marriages and here he is, here she is, hallelujah. But what I am saying is maybe we need to take a bit more active part in that. Don't just leave it all up to chance that maybe they'll find somebody. Let's try to set up situations for them where they can meet somebody. Let's take them to maybe a Messianic conference or someplace where they can meet some other godly young people that share our beliefs and our values and things like that. Okay, so let's get a little bit involved. Not too involved, but let's get a little bit involved in that. Maybe not as much as Abraham, but okay. Let's be active in that. That we need to help our kids. All right? Set up the situations where they can find somebody that's right for them. Second thing is pray. That's what Abraham did. That's what Eliezer did. He just sat down. He just prayed, God, help me with this. Okay? So that's the first thing you need to do is pray, because you're not all on your own in this. God's will is for you to find a good wife. So pray and ask God to guide you in that. Don't try and do it all on your own. Ask for God's help, his guidance, his wisdom. And the other thing is, Abraham sent out Eliezer, right? So we need to enlist the help of others. I mean, we're so embarrassed about our desire to marry a wonderful person that we keep it private. We don't want to tell anybody, right? God forbid anybody should know. And that's stupid. We should enlist the help of other people and say, hey, do you know anybody that you think might be suitable for me? Set up a blind date or introduce somebody. Somebody wrote a really good article about that from Israel, about how him and this Russian woman, they were in the office for like 2 years. They never said boo to each other until somebody invited them, come together, and now they're married. They got 2 kids, and it's wonderful. I have another friend that she just sent out an email to all her friends, and she said, hey, I'm already this age. I want to get married. I want to find the right guy. Can you help me? Do you know anybody in your contacts? And I knew somebody. I suggested, and it's going great for them. So enlist the help of others. Okay. Now, qualities of a good wife. All right. These are the qualities that we see in Rebekah. And this is the kind of things that Eliezer was looking for. How would he know that she's going to be a good wife? Of course, there's always a risk. We never really totally know anybody until we're married and live with them for a while and get to know them more and more. But here's some guidelines, all right? Number 1, Abraham said, do not choose a wife from the Canaanites. Okay? No Canaanites, people. No Canaanite wives. What does that mean? It's got to be a believer. Number 1, I say sometimes to people, I love to teach these relationship seminars, because I say, don't do what I did. So you have your absolute yeses and your absolute nos, right? The absolute yes list, maybe 5 things. It's gotta be that. And if they're missing one of those things, it's just a no. So number 1 on that absolute yes list, gotta be a believer. It's gotta be somebody who shares your values and your beliefs and your faith in God, right? Number 1, gotta be amongst Abraham's kin, part of the family of faith, okay? Don't get so desperate that you think, yeah, I know they're not a believer, but okay, the other qualities are great. No, gotta be part of the family. Okay. Number 2, Rebekah was beautiful. Now, I want to qualify that, because she was beautiful on the outside, but she also had a beautiful character on the inside. So yes, you're going to be attracted by a woman's beauty, but make sure that beauty is not just skin deep. All right? Like somebody like Vashti, which was very beautiful, King Hashverosh's wife, but her beauty was only skin deep. She didn't have that character. Whereas Esther was beautiful outside and also inside. She had that beauty of character. And just remember, guys, like think about when you're about 100 years old, that beauty fades. Like it says, charm is deceitful and beauty is fading. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. That beauty that is at, in those early years, as wonderful as it is, and many women stay beautiful, into their older years, a different kind of beauty. But beauty is fading, it says that. But, listen to this in 1 Peter 3:4. It says that a gentle and a quiet spirit is an unfading beauty. It's a beauty that doesn't fade. When a woman has that beautiful, gentle, quiet spirit, that peace about her and that inner joy, that won't fade over time. When you're 100 years old together, you'll still think she's the most beautiful woman in the world. So keep that in mind, all right? The beauty inside has to match the beauty outside. It also says beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? I mean, I've seen some people just so absolutely in love. I mean, they just like adore each other, and you just look and you go, So beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Okay, great. Number 2, she's a virgin. Okay, now this is a sensitive topic, okay, and because some people have made mistakes and then they came back to the Lord and they repented and they're restored, okay, but what I'm talking about is not technical virginity as much as being pure in heart and in spirit. Somebody who is modest. I mean, how do they dress? They have their skirts up to here and their tops down to here and, gobs and gobs of makeup and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just being blunt. So there's a purity and a holiness and a modesty about a good wife, all right? You want to know that she's going to be faithful to you, okay? The other thing about Rebekah, is what I really see in her is her kindness. Eliezer said, okay, I'll know she's the right one if when I ask her for a drink, she's going to say, yeah, but I'll water your camels too. And so that's what happened. He asked her she said she was glad to give him a drink from the well. And then she said, you drink, my Lord, but I'll also water your camels. And a lot of people say that was a lot of work for her to have to drop all that water for all those camels. So they drink a lot. So what I see here is she's kind. She's a kind, compassionate woman who cares about others. She doesn't just care about herself. She's not just selfish, but she thinks of others, and she's willing to extend herself in kindness on behalf of others and also animals. I don't know about you. I think there's something wrong with people who are not kind to animals, who don't love animals. It's just me. All right. So she has a generous, giving heart. A generous, giving heart. I think she's a good-natured woman. She did it cheerfully, and she was a hard worker. That was hard work. She did it cheerfully. She didn't complain. Do you guys know anybody that, whatever they do, they complain about it, or they just do it grudgingly, and it's, ichsa, right? We say ichsa. So find somebody that doesn't mind working hard, and they do it cheerfully, and they're happy to do it. You want somebody who's going to work hard with you to build a life together, not somebody you're going to have to baby and spoil and give into over every little thing, right? What do they call now? Like low maintenance. Okay. And so she's hardworking. She was hospitable. She says, come and stay with our family. Come and stay with us. So a woman who's hospitable to strangers. And the other thing is she was willing to follow. I've heard somebody say, oh, well, she didn't have any choice. And that was not true. They said to Rebekah, they went to her and they said, are you willing to follow him? And she said, yes, I am. So she's got to be willing to follow you. If you want to go in this direction as a man, you're the leader of your home and the spiritual leader of your home, and you have a vision for something, and you want to go in this direction, and she won't follow you. I mean, how is that going to be? I know a guy that, he wanted to go in this direction. He had a vision for this. He had a passion for it. He was so excited about it. And his wife, because of fear and, insecurity, she wouldn't follow him. And she stopped him from doing that. And now, their lives are a complete disaster. Complete disaster. All right. So you want a woman that's not going to fight you on everything that you want to do, but who's going to be willing to follow you. Even if it means following you into the unknown, because a lot of things are unknown. If she's got a fear of or insecurities in that sense, that might just really hinder you, okay? I see in Rebekah, she had a real spirit of adventure. And she had such courage and faith. I mean, can you imagine? They said, will you follow? And she said, yeah. So she just followed Eliezer into the unknown, not knowing who is this man, Isaac, Yitzchak, that she's going to marry, and where is she going to live? She's leaving her home and her family. So she must have had a great spirit of courage and faith and adventure. She was trusting God. So I think all these things together made her a good wife and made her somebody very beautiful. And it says that when Isaac saw her, he loved her, and she comforted him after the death of his mother. So a good wife is going to love you. She's going to comfort you. She's going to be there for you. And so guys, get out there, start actively seeking, because it's like, somebody said this is more for women, but even Cinderella had to go out to the ball. Right, like you're just sitting at home and waiting for the UPS man to bring you your wife. But I don't know, unless it's a mail order bride, it's not going to happen. You got to get out there a little bit, get some faith, get some courage, believe God is with you in this. And where did they meet Rebekah? It was at the well. So good place to, where am I going to find this woman? Good place at the well is where people gather, where the community of faith gathers, congregations and conferences and Bible studies and things like that. So go to those places, especially things that are for the people of your age group, where other singles will grow, singles places at churches and stuff like that. All right? So I hope that I've given you some good advice, and I hope that you're going to take to heart, and I hope that we're going to have even more messages about relationships. I got another one about red flags, which is for everybody, that I'm really excited that I'm going to do. And so make sure that if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and what else? Share it. And you can subscribe to our website too, Voice for Israel. It's www.voiceforisrael, voiceforisrael.com. Well, it'll probably be on your screen. And subscribe, and you can get all these Torah studies every week. They're totally free online, and you can get a lot of these gems of wisdom and Hebrew word studies and things like that I think will be a real blessing to you. So thanks for listening, and all blessings and wisdom and guidance for you in your search for a good wife and a good husband. I'll maybe talk to you girls later. Okay, see ya. Shalom.